Okay, we're back here on Tuesday. Y'all remember the 65 Chev pickup cab we painted? Well, we're going to start assembling the inner fenders, the rad support on it today. Get that all taken care of. Just getting some of the bolts out there. We got everything bagged and tagged. That's the way we do it here. Everything's all taped together, and you know, for how it goes, for like what shims go where. It's going to look good. So I want to have this whole front end, doors, everything. I want to have the cab together by the end of the week, if not sooner. And Sean's working away on the GTO. He's skim coating it all and knocking it down. Looking good. Yeah.
The door and the fender is pretty good.
Yeah, right? It's a good solid car. Yeah. Yeah. That. And then he's got his favorite thing in the whole world to do here. He's got some Chevy valve covers to sand so we can paint them green. He's looking forward to that. That's why he's going to wait till the end of the day. Anyway. Yeah. That's what's happening. Here's some of the tools used. We got the board sander, harder pad, softer pad. Excuse me. Uni spotter, all sorts of stuff. Alright, let's get on to start digging some parts out for this and jamming them together. Okay, so we've got the rad support on. I'm going to show you guys, in case some of you have a question, how you're going to put your kit on, your mounting kit for your rad support. So you're going to get a new, I'm going to call it a stove bolt, like that, carriage bolt some people call it. You're going to get your carriage bolt. You're going to get a square washer. Put your square washer in your carriage bolt, put it down through your rad support. Now on your rad support, you're going to get a rubber that's going to go there next, and then you're going to go your steel washer against your frame. Now after you've done that, you're going to go a rubber again. You're going to go your round washer, which fits against your rubber. Then you're going to go this one here, which is almost cut like a piece of pie. And it's wider, if you can see that, it's wider in there and narrower here. You put the narrow end facing out. Then you're going to snug this all down, and then when you're all done, you actually, believe it or not, you tap this down, and that stops the nut from releasing. Now what I do, personally, is I do not tighten the rad support down whatsoever. I snug it. I snug the rad support down, and I leave it just snug down until I get the whole front end lined up. Because the rad support does have, see that? It has movement in it, which will move everything else. So I just let it, I'll snug it a bit more here, finger tight, like that. And then I'll just leave it all loose until I get everything mounted on, just my way of doing it. So my next step here is we're going to be putting on the inner fender. Okay, and on the inner fender, the gentleman brought it. There was originally rubbers that were stapled across here, which I will show you in this room. On an old inner fender. Could have been off my 65 for all I know. Let's take a look here. You see this is an old inner fender. See how it's got rubber stapled there? So when it's riding up against the firewall, it's not rattling, squeaking, and kind of keeps a little bit of the water out. Now he's got a different type of rubber that came with it. It's got a push-on rubber, so you don't have to deal with the staples. Now I don't know, I didn't supply the parts. He supplied me the parts, so I'm just going by what he brought me, but he gave me, I don't know what I've done with it, which I gotta find it. He gave me this, and you've all seen it. They use it on headliners, they use it everywhere. Right here. There's one piece anyways, another piece somewhere. He's brought me this stuff that pushes on. That's what he got when he got the kit. I know, some of you are probably like, it should have the staple stuff, but this is what he got. And it's still gonna work. Still gonna do the same thing. So, that's what we're gonna do next. So anyway, so there's how that goes again. Remember, stove bolt, square washer, rubber cushion, round washer, rubber cushion, round washer, pie-shaped square piece, wide end facing to the inside of the frame, skinny end facing out. Once you get it all tightened up, you bang these down, and it stops the nut from turning because it'll ride on the nut. All right. so the next step was I put the rubber that he supplied on here, how it should go. Then where this actually butts up to the firewall, I put some dum-dum putty. And that goes right up on here. And I just put it there to stop any kind of rust or anything that's going to happen.
This is the washroom.
That's the washroom. We'll time you. No. Yeah, I get to work next to the porta potty today, my favorite friend. Anyway, so now we're going to bolt this inner fender on. We'll start by taking it, lifting it up there and putting those 2 bolts first.
The water's over there.
Okay. And then the rest of it bolts to here. Alright. Okay, so I got the 2 bolts here, and again, I leave everything loose. I don't tighten it up. Then you got a bracket that goes here, comes through here, and that bracket sits in there, and that's where your 2 bolts go there. Then you're going to have it where it bolts all across here. So I try and get all the bolts in. Now of course we've got one down here, and there should be a rubber washer thingy that goes in there, which I've got somewhere. I will find it. And then when I get all that in place, then I'll tighten it up. And see, this rubber works out just fine. See how it's riding on the body? And see what I meant about how this is metal on metal? So that's why I put the dummy putty in behind there, just to give a little bit of a cushion. Some people might even cut a piece of rubber and put in there. Just make sure you do it thin and do it while you're pre-fitting, because everything could change how the truck's going to fit, or car, whatever you're working on, when you put it together for the final fitment. I'm just using dum-dum putty because that's how I had it from the beginning. And if I cut a piece of rubber and put it in there, it could alter everything. And I don't need any alterations now when all the body work is done and we're going together, if that makes any sense. Okay. We're having a good day so far. Alright, inner fenders, rad supports on. And I've tightened all the inner fenders up again. I have not tightened the rad support up. You won't get as much movement now in this rad support, only because the inner fenders are going to kind of set where that thing's going to sit, believe it or not. So what we're going to do next is we're going to find somewhere where those have gone. They're around here somewhere, I know they are. I'm going to find those, get those in place so we don't forget. And then I'll see where our next step will be. This turned out good. You can kind of see the, I'll wipe it away, but you can kind of see the dum-dum putty coming out. Not only do I put it there, I put it along under here on either side, like I'll show you here. I don't know if you'll see it. So, this inner fender is a lip and it bolts to the rad support, and I put on this part, on the opposite side, I put dum-dum putty. I don't see it squishing out here, but trust me, I put it in there. What does it look like? It's just this. Just buy it in a package. You just stick it on and flatten it with your fingers, do whatever. It works good. Now there is a panel that goes in here, but that is not going to go in until you actually get your steering through there. So we're just going to leave that off for now. So let me go dig through the shed, because somewhere, like I say, I've got them bolts and washers that should go down there. Okay, if you guys have got one of these trucks, I'm going to show you what should go in now. This is like a rubber bushing, or cushion, whatever you want to call it, and see, it's split. So it fits in there like a grommet. And that way there, it just stops it from metal on metal. Well, the hot rod store ain't got none. No one locally's got one, and we're bolting this together. So what we're going to do here, that's okay. What we're going to do here is I found a rubber cushion, and all I'm going to do, because all that does is stop that from hitting metal, I just slide it in behind here. Right, whoops. Come on. Like so. There we go. It's hard to do with one hand. Then all I did was to get myself a big flat washer, and I'm just going to put that through it. Now it's metal on rubber on metal. So it's really no different than doing this, except there's no rubber on this side, but on this side here. But that's okay. Okay, the next piece of the puzzle is your grill surround. Why do they call it that? Because it surrounds the grill. So you're going to put this on next, and how that's going to go, basically, you can see here it's got a hole which is going to line up with that, but you don't want to put a bolt there yet, because when you put the fender on, the bolt will go through the fender, through this, and then into rad support. But what's going to hold it is this lip here. It's going to bolt to your rad support. See 3 holes? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 up in there. It's going to bolt to there. So your next step is going to be to put that on. Okay? And they are different in the years. The earlier ones, the 60 through I believe 62, 3 for sure maybe, the cutouts are different here for the frame. 64 to 6 is another animal all on its own. Alright, so let's get some bolts and put her on. Okay, so it's on there. Now, remember, now I've just snugged it up for now, but when you go to put your fenders on, these holes, if you look, see how there's, you can see the hole there? This thing can move back and forth. So you go to put the fenders on, you may have to loosen these 3 bolts on either side to move it, to get the fender to line up properly to this curve, because a fender bolts to this, if that makes sense to you. It will if you're doing one of these trucks, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You also see how Sean sprayed all the edges. This is what we do, we spray all the edges here, so nothing is left without paint on it. We didn't just bolt this truck together in primer, then paint the truck, because that would just start rusting out eventually. And again, we're going to put some dum-dum putty along here. Let it squish out, you can wipe it off. It comes off very easy, it's not. Here it is right here, let's try right now, look at. It's just dum-dum putty. Just peels off. And you know what? You can roll that up and reuse it again. Don't throw it away either. Yeah, we'll throw it away. Anyway, so now, next you'd put your fenders on. I'm not putting the fenders on because I prefer to put the doors on first to get the doors lined up, then line the fender back up to the doors, if that makes any sense whatsoever, which that video will come along on Thursday. So, but with that being said, again, we've sprayed our fenders. Let's take a look here. Oh boy. Careful. We sprayed our fenders on the edges. Along in here, because you're never going to get to it after. And we've got our texture spray. And we also do, on a lot of vehicles, to see how the fender lip wraps under. Well, we'll spray that now, lightly. Because when the painter comes along to paint it, he's not going to be able to get right, well he can, but it's just easier to do it while it's off. Just easier to do it while it's off. He can get in there, but it's, you know, you're getting down there on the ground, crouching under, stirring up dust. Why not do that edge now? You just you just spray it like that. You let the flow go out, you overspray. You scuff this, and when he paints, again, you're going to mask the black, you're going to leave this open, let the overspray land, you know you got paint on there. So, that's that. I don't know what else I can do on this truck. There's probably a few pieces around. I'll take a look right now and we'll continue this video. But I'm kind of stuck on getting the front end on. But Thursday for sure we'll be doing doors and the front sheet metal on it. I'm going to look into getting the hood springs. I got to find those. I don't know where those are. And the hood hinges I'm painting right now actually. They just had a little bit of, they bend. So in the cracks and crevices where the paint never went when we did this, I'm just kind of rattle canning it in there. Alright, here we go. So the big question is, how do you get the hood hinges on with the springs? How do you get them off? Some people would take would open the hood all the way as hard as they could, if there's a hood on it. We're assuming there's no hood. So some people take a pry bar and try and get them off and stand back and look out, because their springs are under a lot of tension. Let me show you here. That's the spring, and this ain't an old spring, this is a brand new spring, so it's even worse. So you can see that sucker's gone a good 2 to 3 inches spread out. So how do you get them on? Well, here's my little trick. Here's what I do, and I don't know if I'm going to film this at the same time and show you. So it's going to be a bit difficult because I can't hold the camera, I have nowhere to set the camera up. So here's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with, first you need to have your 9/16 socket on your air or your battery operated impact. You're going to have a wrench there too. First thing you're going to do for me is you're going to hook your spring into the hole right there and onto your back of your hinge right here. Let's see if I can do this. Let me see if I can get the camera set up, guys. Let me come back here. Okay, I don't know if you can see this or not, but anyway, I ain't no production show here. I'm just going to show you what I do. Can you see the hinge? That's pretty good. You see the hinge. If you have a truck like this, you're going to know what I'm talking about anyway. What I'm going to do is your hinge, these eyelets, whatever you want to call it, spring, it always goes inward. So I'm going to put this spring right there to the fender. I'm going to put it on the hood hinge now. Now what I can tell you right now is you can see clearly I can get the bolt in the rear hole. Okay? I'm going to put it in there. snug it up a little bit with my gun. Just enough so it'll still pivot and move. Now, what I'm going to do next, that's simple. I'm going to pull down on the hinge. Where's my other bolt? Get your bolt ready. Actually, get this ready, whatever you're using. I'm going to pull down on the hinge to this bolt hole is going to line up with that. And I'm going to get that bolt in there. Do not worry. Now, I am holding this out a bit. You can't see it. I'm holding this out a bit from the fender. But if it scratches the fender here, don't panic. You're never going to see it anyway. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if this works. Make sure you're hooked in there. Okay, I'm going to pull down. Actually tight. Oh shit, real tight. Oh my god. You see what I mean? Okay. I got it there. Okay. There. It's on. It's on there. There it is. Now I would assume if you want to take this off without a pry bar and marking shit up, making a mess, again, you'd have to have the hood off. You'd grab that hinge as hard as you could, hold it tight, take that bolt out, and release the pressure. And off it comes. Never made any marks anywhere, no pry bars, no nothing. You can't see any marks back in here where I slid it down. You're not going to. Now it's just a matter of you leave it loose to adjust your hood when your hood comes time on there. So there it is. Hood spring is on. Just do the opposite. And that was with new springs. So eat your Wheaties that day and be ready. Okay, so before I forget, I want to point out that when you put this panel on, if you go from up underneath, you've got 1, 2, you can see it in there, right in there, 3 bolts that come from up underneath. Hold this panel to your rad support. I'll show you later when we go to do this, but from factory, you're asking, well, how do you know this? I'm not going by offline. I'm going by the fact that my dad bought one of these trucks in 1972, and it was the original paint, and it was two-tone. It was sun-tone yellow and white, but anyway, this outer edge, if you see this, you can see the hump. I'll stop. This is white. This in behind here, a lot of people will paint that white too, just to save on time, but really this is white. This here should be black. And that's what we'll do here, a black much like that. Think about it, why would you want to put a white paint or whatever color your truck is in behind there when the grill goes here and you can never get it clean to get the bugs off? Black would be a better color to go. Not that it don't get dirty, it just shows less. So this would be, this gentleman's going this gray, you see there, which is a newer Ford Mustang color if you're wondering. This will be gray. This line he's going to do in silver. Back then it was white. He's going to do this in silver. Here we're going to do it in the black. So we call it the halo. You'll see that when we get the fenders on. When we do it, we'll bring up this topic again. So that's on there. So I'm virtually and pretty much done in this for today. It wasn't a full day, but it was a good half a day. Whether you believe that or not, you got to take your time when things are painted. So we'll see how Sean's making out in here. He's doing pretty good. I mean, I think I'll probably head up over there to that Model A and start vacuuming it out. But really nothing on that to show today. There we go. He's just knocking her down. Probably more going on the floor than what's on the car. Anyway, I'm going to pick some tools up, get ready to go on to what I'm going to do next, and we'll take it from there. Somebody asked if this was one of the old gas ration stamps from the day. Well, it is. You can see right on there. Gasoline ration. Anyway, we're gonna vacuum out all the rat shit. Leave the windows down, let this sucker, leave the trunk open, let it air out for sure. Maybe get the plugs out of it, dump some lubricant down the engine. That's the plan here right now that we're done working on the 65 Chevy. Oh god, it just stinks. Oh, it's gonna be horrible when I lift that seat up too. I can just imagine. So, but yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Gonna do that on this old girl. May as well finish the afternoon off with a, I don't know, a bang. Alright, we're all vacuumed out. Took the floor out of it. It's just wood, that's how they were. The old battery's still down there. I think honestly, because of the smell that's in here, I'm just gonna fucking wass. I'm just gonna hose it down and leave it for a couple days, let it dry off, and I'll hose it down, then I'll dump some lubricant down the cylinders of the engine, but I'm gonna hose this down because it just reeks inside. You can't be in there working on something like this. They're calling for rain on the weekend, so I think right now is the best time to leave doors, windows, everything open and rinse it off. So it's Tuesday today, it's got a good 3 days to dry out. But cool car, very cool and very nice shape. Like I say, the only thing on it is fiberglass is the fenders. Somebody swapped them out back in the day. Maybe their grandpa. I think they said their grandpa bought it back in the 60s. That's pretty cool. Okay, got her all washed out. I don't know if you can see the difference or not. Anyway, it smells better. Like I can actually stick my head in here now and stand here for all of like 5 minutes. I mean, I still smell like rat piss, but it's nowhere near like it was. And the time it airs out here for this week, it'll be good. You know, I put some cleaners down after I vacuumed it and hosed it out. Then I spread some cleaners on the floor and rinsed them through. So it'll air out. It'll be just fine. I've dealt with this before. All my life I've dealt with these old cars. So I got the plugs out. Got some lubricant in there to see if we can't free it up. And then I've gone ahead and lubed everything else. It's got a spring on it. This wasn't even moving. And now I've got that moving just like that. Look at that. You know? So, yeah. It's just little stuff. I'm confident it might turn over. I mean, it was always parked inside. So, but it needs everything new. You can see it needs plugs. It needs cap, rotor points. It's going to need a coil. It's going to need hoses. You know, it's going to need all that. The muffler's probably plugged up because the rats are probably crawled up in there. So, honestly, the best thing to do when we go to start it is I see it unclamps here. Probably best is to unclamp the sucker and let her go. Drain the oil out of it. I pulled the dipstick and the oil just smells like gas. So the gas has ran through there over the years. But that's okay. We'll let her soak now, and every day we'll come out here and we'll give it a little crank with the pulley, and then we'll put a little more fluid in. We'll give it a week. After a week, if nothing's happening, because it is a customer car and things got to move on. Whoops, sorry guys. If things got to move on, then we'll talk to the customer and say, look, you know, maybe it'll free up in a month or 2 weeks, but we don't have that kind of time. We're gonna have to put another engine in it because you can't sit on it forever. If it was your own personal car, you could, but I'll give it a week, like I say. Fair's fair. Yeah. Okay, well that's it for this old girl for the day. We're gonna let her sit here and air out. Let's go see what Sean's up to. Let's put the drill away first. Oh, here's something new for you guys. So I picked this up. Now there was always one sitting here, but I picked this one up the other day when I went to pick some parts up down Ladner. This one's in much better shape than the one I had, so I put the better one here. And my old one that was sitting right back there I just showed you, I now put over there. Yeah. So anyway, that's something new. I know it's been a while since you've been seeing if I've been going out picking or anything. It's kind of slowing down the picking right now, you know. School's back in, not many people having garage sales, not many swap meets out there. So we do have a swap meet coming up at the end of the month. The Haney swap meet over in Maple Ridge. I'll be going to that, hopefully. Unless it's raining. Its nickname is Rainy Haney, so you never know. Anyway, let's check out, let's see how Sean's doing. Oh yeah. Yeah. Are you just sweeping it all up?
Well, yeah.
Too bad you couldn't mix water in there and reuse it.
Yeah, done that before.
Look at it all in there. Yeah. Good, good. Looking good.
I don't want to deal on the bits and pieces.
Yeah. No. It's all good.
We're on our way.
We're on our way. And tomorrow night we're going to be painting these doors here for the '65 Chevy pickup. And painting the inside of those. That's Wednesday night, and that way there Thursday we'll be back with you with a video, and we'll have to put the doors on there. We'll get all the fenders on, provided they dry up enough. Yeah, there's where I put that other wiper thing right there. A little corner going on there too. I like having neat stuff around the yard. Well, Sean's doing that. Close this down, because it is the end of the day. And that's pretty much it for, well, Sean stays out there for a while still, but he's got another, I think, 45 minutes left. I'm going to call it quits. But, with that being said, it's always a good time at old time. We will see you again on Thursday. We'll be doing some more assembly on that truck. I'll let you know in the meantime if Wednesday, if maybe this car ends up turning over tomorrow, I'll let you know on Thursday. Maybe she breaks free. Be sure nice if the Model A did break free. I tell you, that would save a lot of grief. This gentleman doesn't care if it's blowing a bit of blue or doesn't run perfect. Just as long as it runs and drives, he's not carried away if it's, you know, a little chuggy. We'll see what happens. That's a new word, chuggy. Anyway, hope you all had a good weekend. What did you all do? I went to the car show, if you didn't know, in Fort Langley, and the wife won an award. Good for her. Anyway, they said they loved the patina with the bright work on it. That's what drew them to it. So, hey, excellent. Hey, it's always a good time and old time. I'll catch you next time.